Happy Booktube birthday to me! Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Heather and as always I'm reading with a vengeance and I hope you are as well. Today, February 16th, is my Booktube birthday. I published my very first video on February 16th, 2022. I cannot really articulate accurately enough how tickled I am to be here a year later and still have subscribers and viewers. In other words, people who want to hear what I have to say about what I'm reading. I mean, I'm so grateful. So I'm doing the Booktube birthday tag. In search of finding the prompts or the questions for these tags, I found actually two different ones. Now, a lot of the questions are similar, so I decided to combine them. But the first one was created by Anne at Book Your Imagination. I don't know if she's still creating, but of course I'm going to give her credit for one of the Booktube birthday tags. And the other one I found was created by Joe at Average Joe Reads. So thank you both to creating these tags, and I hope I do them justice. Now, how I decided to answer these is kind of in vlog style. Because there's no bookish or reading content really. Not really. There is a little bit in some of it, you'll see. But really there's no talk about books in this. This is just me answering these questions about me as a booktuber. I decided to kind of mix it up and turn it into kind of a vlog type video where it's somewhat day in the life, even though a lot of this footage was filmed over several days. I wanted to capture some of the things I do on a day-to-day basis. Now, I'm retired, so there's not a whole lot of really interesting stuff that I do, but I still wanted to mix it up instead of you just sitting here watching me answer questions. I tried to mix it up a little bit, and I hope you enjoy it. There. Good morning. Hi, Bubba's. What anniversary am I celebrating? I'm celebrating my very first Booktube anniversary, 1 year on Booktube. So I wake up in the morning, every morning. Yes, hello. Another question they ask is, what genre do you focus on your channel? And I don't focus on a genre. I read all the genres, but I guess I gravitate towards literary fiction and thrillers, mystery thrillers. And I really love coming of age. If that's I never can determine if coming of age is a trope or a genre, but either way, I gravitate to that kind of story. Shall we go outside? I'm out taking the dogs out. But the next question, I guess, on the tags are, do you receive ARCs? And I don't. I've received a couple of requests, I guess. I think kind of like, I think authors do blasts on Instagram or whatever to kind of put their stuff, new authors, to kind of put their stuff out there and ask if, you know, Instagrammers will read and review their books. But I haven't like been sent books by publishers or anything like that. I've done a couple of net galleys, but I guess really, not really. Another question is, what are you most proud of on your channel over the past year? And I haven't really thought of it in those terms. I mean, I guess I'm just proud that it's grown. You know, it's a relatively small channel, but the number of people who have come to my channel and enjoyed it has grown. So I'm pretty, I wouldn't say proud about that, but I'm happy about it, certainly. And then another question, what's another question? Oh, what has changed from the first video to the most recent video? And I don't think much has changed other than I've become more comfortable in front of the camera. And now that I've gotten to know some of you, some of my viewers, I feel like I'm talking directly to you. So I think that comes through. I think I appear more relatable, more personable on my channel. And so I'm pretty happy about that. And I got to get these boogers inside to feed them. Okay, so Zoe's having her breakfast. Go ahead, you go ahead and eat your breakfast. And we have to keep them separated because they get a little nutty with each other. So they're separated and having their breakfast. So normally I would be brewing myself some coffee, but this is our first morning in this new rental and he doesn't have a coffee maker. So I'm gonna have to go to our trailer to get either our espresso machine or our regular coffee brewer. I'll just have to make up my mind to see because I don't want to bring both. I don't want to be dragging those around or whatever, but I think I'm gonna be in the mood for espressos in the next couple of weeks. So I think I'll grab the espresso machine from the trailer later today, so I'll have it tomorrow, but I'll drink my husband's coffee and he always drinks cold brew. And then I'll use my oat milk creamer with brown sugar flavor. It's my favorite, I love it. So it's iced coffee this morning, even though it is rather cool, but I can't really complain because it's not in the negatives like it is in Connecticut right now. So the next questions, hold on. So the next two questions I'll answer. One is what types of videos are your favorite to make? And I like doing wrap-ups. I like talking about the books I read, really. Tags are super fun because I like to kind of go, a lot of the tags will ask you questions that kind of make you go back in time for like books you read years and years ago, which is super fun. So, because I like talking about books that I read a long time ago that I don't think about as much anymore. So tags are fun and, you know, it helps you engage with other booktubers, which is fun, which is how I've become friends with some other booktubers. So, but I would say wrap-ups are my favorite to make just because, you know, just talking about books, they're straightforward. And that's really the reason I started this channel. And then the other question is, what types of books do you like to watch? And I would say it's a toss-up between wrap-ups and TBRs. So I like to see what people have read and what people are going to read. I gotta get coffee in me. So I'm on my way to the inspection for our new house. I think it's pretty much a done deal, but I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to show too much on that or talk too much about it. Besides, you're here for, well, what are you here for? So the next couple of questions are, what were your 3 most favorite videos to record over the past year? And the one that comes to mind is the summer books. The summer book recommendations that I did. And on the spur of the moment as I'm recording, pairing snacks and summer drinks with each of the books that I talked about just kind of came out and I went with it. And it was so much fun doing something like that, like spur of the moment, just right off the top of my head. And I had a really, really good time with it. I think I might do kind of a sister video this summer and actually have those snacks and drink pairings with other books, maybe? We'll see. The other question is, what was your most popular video over the past year? And I'm assuming that has to do with most views. And I have 2 videos that were over 1,000 views, but the one that has the most is 1.4 thousand views, and that was my mid-month wrap-up for April of all months. I'm not sure why. I should probably look into seeing what books that I talked about in that video, because it probably had to do with that. But yeah, my mid-month April wrap-up has the most views and ergo the most popular video over the past year. On to the next thing. So curiosity got the best of me, and I wanted to look up to see what books I talked about in the mid-month April wrap up. I talked about 10 books or so, but the ones that have gotten the most talk that were talked about on that video were Sorrow and Bliss and Great Circle, both of which were shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. So people might have been looking for those books. The other thing that I noticed in my description for that video was I tagged a few kind of popular, relatively popular booktubers in that tag. I tagged Books and Jams. I tagged Alice in the Giant Bookshelf. I tagged Tia from, I can't remember her channel right now, but she's a pretty popular booktuber. So that might have something to do with why that video was viewed a lot, but I had to look. So I'm going to try to get a library card from the public library here, one of them here in Savannah, with my little short-term lease that I have going on with the rental we're in. So wish me luck. But another question for the tag is, was there something that you tried on your channel over this past year that you won't continue doing? Yeah, I can't think of anything. I'll probably try everything that I've already done. I might think of something new to do. So yeah. So the answer, short story long, no. So check it out, new library card. Super excited. It's always exciting to get a new library card. And then I'm so excited I was able to pick up this guy, which I need to read for the Booktube Prize. So really, really excited that was available. Next question is, was there any video that you did over the past year that I think the way the question is worded is that just didn't work? And I would say, I don't know about it not working. I mean, they didn't get a ton of views. So I guess if you're using that as your, measure, I would say my fiction depiction, which is what I was going to use, kind of a series to just pick one book and review it, make a video about that one book. But I felt like I talk so much about all the books in my wrap up. I didn't want to take one to make a separate video, and I just didn't get a whole lot of views, so I didn't think people were enjoying it. However, I still might do it just because I like picking apart one book and spending time just to zero in on that book. But I might change it up a little bit. I might look up questions for book club discussion to ask, but I would have to be able to find a way to do it that didn't spoil it. So typically book club questions are for book clubs after they have read the book. So I never want to spoil a book. So I haven't shut the door on fiction depiction yet, but those were the videos that I guess didn't work out, relatively speaking, to my other videos. So anyways, I'm going to try to go to the other public library that's here in town and get another library card. So we'll see how that goes. Hi, so it's the next morning. I ended up not going to the second library because I didn't want to have to deal with afternoon traffic by the time I got there and blah, blah, blah. So only one library card for me for now. But it's the next morning. I'm on a walk, which I haven't been able to do for a long time other than the dog walking. But I used to be super, super into fitness. I was a big time runner when I was a little bit younger, but my last half marathon, my body basically told me, if you do this to me again, I will kill you in your sleep. So it's to walking, and now I live in a climate where I can do that outside more often than not. Whereas in Connecticut, it was either too cold or icy for like 7 or 8 months out of the year, or it was too humid. Anyways, next question. Is there anything you plan to do more of on your channel this coming year? I hadn't thought about it, but now that I do think about it, I will probably be doing more hauls, only because if things go right and we get the house that we want, it looks like I'm going to have a room where it can be a dedicated library. So I will have more books, but I have mentioned before in the past, I don't want to accumulate books just to accumulate books. There will be a constant turnover with books. So there will be hauls, but they will be mindful hauls. And the next question is there anything new that you plan to do on your channel this year? I hadn't thought about that. My channel, the way I run it, I usually do things kind of seat of my pants, spur of the moment. I see something, like, oh, that's a great idea, and I'll try it. So as far as making long-term plans, I don't have any, but that's not to say there won't be anything new on my channel. There will be new stuff on my channel. I just don't know what it is right now. The final question for right now is, what challenges do you face on your channel? My biggest challenge to begin with was editing and finding the time, but I've kind of gotten used to it and familiar with editing, so I've gotten better at editing. So it's not as much of a challenge as it was. And I guess ultimately the challenge is to read as much as I can, good content. Oh, I gotta go, people are looking. I'm back home and I'm stretching now after my walk. I had to leave because I was standing out in front of some guy's house, and he came out casually, ostensibly to smoke, but I'm pretty sure he was checking out the weird lady out in front of his house recording. So here I am stretching. Kiddos, say hi, Zoe. Where was I? Challenges. Oh yes, challenges. Challenges I face with recording. Well, recording in public can be a challenge, but on the most part, of course, most of my videos aren't recorded in public. But yeah, as I was saying before, challenges. Look at it. She's like, oh, tell me a story, Mom. Tell me a story. Challenges, you see. So really just reading enough books to have content, reading interesting books to have content. Although I will say that, I mean, I read what I want mostly, and even when I'm doing buddy reads, even when I'm doing the Booktube prize. And while there were a couple of books on the selection of books that I was tasked with, would I normally pick up? No, but I mean, I like those kinds of challenges. I guess that's the point I'm getting at. The challenges that I face on my channel are challenges that I enjoy. So I like trying to be creative as far as coming up with content-ish. I mean, my content is pretty straightforward and basic. I read books. I tell you about books. So yeah, that's my short answer. Was it short? Hi, so it's a new day and there's a lot of wind, so hopefully I'll be able to edit that out, but I'm on another walk. But I came across something delightful today, so I'll show you that in just a minute. But I want to answer another question, and that is, have you had to deal with negative comments, and how do you deal with it? I think maybe one or two, and that's if I was really to split hairs about what makes a negative comment. I haven't had any outright negativity, which I'm super, super grateful for, but the one or two comments that, I don't know, might have been a little bit judgy, I just basically say, thanks for watching and I appreciate your input. Because really, what can you do? I'm not here to argue with anybody unless they have hateful words to say about my favorite books. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't even. Everybody has opinions and they're welcome here. The next question is, where do you see your channel in a year's time and what do you hope to have achieved? As far as achieving, I just hope to still have a decent channel in a year, and I hope I'm still enjoying it. I hope you're still enjoying it, and really not much more than that. I don't have giant goals for this channel. I'm just here to have fun and talk about books and talk with you all. So that's really much it. And the only other questions I'm going to answer are just questions that I've really already answered, and that is, what has been your favorite book over the past year? As you know from my favorites of 2022, John Boyne's The Heart's Invisible Furies was my favorite last year. And then what are your thoughts about equipment? What equipment do you use? I use my iPhone to record. I bought a microphone to make the sound a little bit better, although of course I'm not using it right now. I bought a ring light, which makes lighting a lot better, and it also helps with holding my phone and being able to position it a lot better. So that's been my most helpful piece of equipment that I use, is my ring light / tripod. So yeah, that's the boring stuff. Now I have to show you what I found on my walk. Oh, what's that? Hi, new day. So I decided to treat myself and I am going to have a wax. And I say treat myself because I'm an esthetician by trade and I have my own gear at home and I have been waxing myself for years. So now in my situation where all my stuff is in storage, I decided to treat myself and get a wax. TMI? Maybe, but I did want to let you know I did go back to that little free library and I went with the two books that I had that I wanted to turn into a little free library, and that was Gilead and James and the Giant Peach. And I think I got the better end of the deal because, exciting, I got another edition of To Kill a Mockingbird for my collection. I don't have this one. I love it. It's like the size of a mass paperback, but it's hardcover. So how cool is that? And then I also got one that has been on my TBR, and that is the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. So I'm super excited about this because the one kind of rule I have for myself when I get books from a little free library, they absolutely have to be on my TBR. Now, I might see books that I'm interested kind of in reading that I've seen around, and I'm like, oh, you know, I would totally take that in other circumstances. But since I'm trying to pare down my physical library, if it's not on my actual Goodreads TBR, then I don't get it. So these two, yay. Well, To Kill a Mockingbird, that's more of a collector's item for me. So win-win on that one. A couple more questions. What has been the biggest surprise of being on Booktube or having a Booktube channel? I think that's the question. And the biggest surprise is the actual following I have, just because when I started my Booktube channel, I thought, well, it's just going to be for me because nobody's going to watch because of my age. You know, I am a lot older than most of the booktubers that are out there. I'm probably a good 20 years older than almost all of them. So I didn't think there'd be an audience for me out there. So that's been really nice. And audience, to me, the only benefit of having an audience really is the engagement. You know, you all talking to me and us talking about books and you giving me your point of view and what you think. And I love that. Yeah. So I got to go into my appointment until the next time. So I wanted to answer a couple of questions, but you not necessarily looking at my mug, but just another part of my day. I'm probably going to speed this up a little bit, but I just wanted to answer some questions while I do one of the things that I do typically on a daily basis. There's Zoe and Jake too to join the party. And these are the last couple of questions on these tags. The next one is, what is your one best piece of advice you can give to another booktuber? Now, obviously, this kind of depends on what that booktuber's goal is, because I think different booktubers have different goals. You know, you have booktubers who are basically, their goal is to get as many subscribers as possible and to kind of do this full time and to earn some money doing it. And absolutely, you know, go for it. Just not what my goal is, but everybody has different goals. But I think the majority of booktubers really enjoy talking about books and really engaging with the watchers. And I think most of them do engage with their watchers, but I guess I would say one piece of advice that's kind of two pieces of advice that go hand in hand. I would say, you know, engage with other booktubers. This is a community here and we're all here to support each other. So I would say I would comment on other booktubers' stuff and subscribe, maybe even to booktubers that you don't watch on the regular, but subscribe to show your support and like their videos to show your support. And then the one piece of advice I would also say that kind of goes hand in hand in this is, if another booktuber tags you in a tag, please, 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 if you're going to do that tag, make the effort to tag other booktubers. This is all really about supporting each other and engaging with each other. But one of the things that just kind of makes me twitch a little bit is if a booktuber is tagged by another booktuber and then they go to tag other booktubers, but they say, oh, if you're watching this, consider yourself tagged. That is not very supportive. So, I mean, it's just, I guess, my own little personal peeve. And then the next question would be, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start a YouTube channel? Again, it really depends on what your goal is. If your end goal is to do this full time and to make some money doing it, I I really don't have advice for you because that's just not what I'm doing. But if you want to start a booktube channel and your main motivation to do it is that you love books and you love reading and you want to share that with other people, my advice to you, as far as if you want people to enjoy your content, enjoy your videos, I would say, and I know this is going to sound so cliche, and maybe it is, but it's true, and you have to absolutely be yourself, be who you are. Don't be somebody you think other people want to watch. When I started this, I did it for me. And because I did it for me, I've been completely myself and, didn't pull any punches and just really had a good time with it. And I talk about what I love, what I absolutely love, which is books and reading. Next question is, what is the best part of having a booktube channel? Again, it's going to sound cliche, but the best part about having this booktube channel is all the people that I have met in the comment section who have commented and engaged. I answer every single one of my comments, and I absolutely love doing it. I love talking to all of you, and I just love hearing your opinions back. I love hearing what you think about my opinions, and it's just been so much fun. I really didn't think it was going to be like this, especially a year from when I started, and it's just been such a joy. And so I take this opportunity to thank every single one of you who've watched and commented and liked and watched again. So every single one of you, thank you. And finally, the last question on this anniversary / booktube birthday tag is, give a shout out to your biggest supporter. Now, honestly, I don't know if there's a number one greatest fan. I have a few people that I am going to shout out that comment either on every single one of my videos or almost every single one of them. I'm going to start with the other booktubers that I have become friends with, who are super, super supportive of me, and I absolutely love their channels. Jem over at Bookish Gems, Gemma of Gem of Books, Gloria Z. Thompson, Nikki at Red Dot Reads, Kristen at Enter the Book, and Sandy over at Miss Reads a Lot. Those are the ones that I engage with the most and who have been super, super supportive of me over the past year. I'm super grateful for you ladies. If you guys don't watch those booktube channels, please give them some love and check them out. I love their content. I watch those channels on the regular. As far as my subscribers who do most of the commenting and engaging with me, they do it on the regular. Lindy S., Andrea Ryan, Sweeta Liz, Michael Clark, Beth McCraw, Julie Jacobs, Lorraine Scanlon, Suzanne Daniel, Nancy Abbott, Justine S., Lupita Ochoa, Rhonda Nelson, Lori Miller, and Sarah As You Wish. You people are absolute gems, and I'm always just tickled when I see comments from you, but I'm tickled when I see comments from everybody. And if I didn't mention you, I absolutely am not trying to shame anybody. These are just people that I've become familiar with, that I've had conversations with on the regular, but I am absolutely 100% so grateful for every single one of you who have either commented, liked, watched my videos, and of course subscribed. Very, very, very warm gratitude to all of you. So thank you. So that is it. Those are the questions for the booktube birthday tag. Again, I'm super, super happy to be here a year later after starting this little journey that I have created for myself. I absolutely love doing these videos. I absolutely love sharing with you what I read and what I think about what I read. I absolutely love engaging with all of you. I'm super happy that there's a handful of people out there that enjoy my channel. So thank you to all of you for the past year. If you're still watching at this point, please consider giving that like button a boop. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.